And it was counting on the fact that she would grow up and figure out what was going on and fix it, and she did, which is basically Horizon Zero Dawn. It's pretty crazy that the perfect weapon for the final boss fight was the Acid Beyblade that got me through every tough part of the game. Luckily, the Nora didn't kill her at birth. Yeah, it almost, yeah, it was Rost fought to keep her as an outcast. It is a good weapon. Dude, it was so satisfying when the Beyblade thing would hit them and then just keep, like, spinning like a buzzsaw and just rip off, like, it would do, like, you know, instead of doing one hit, which it often did, it would just sometimes do, like, 5 or 6 and then break a weak point. It was great. I like it, just not good at catching it. The main thing is, like, if you were moving right when you fired it, you need to keep moving right, because it will come to, like, if you're moving right, you shoot it, it will come back to you to the right of where you were. Same with the left. But if you were holding completely still when you fire it, you can move forward or back and you'll catch it. I figured that out. So, like, if the enemy was coming at me and I had thrown the disc, I would just dodge either straight backwards or dodge forwards through the enemy. Also, I kind of needed to be a minimum of like 15 feet away. If you were really close to it, you were not going to catch it when you used it. But as long as you're decent at catching it, you could fire like 4 shots before reloading, so the ammo was stretched out longer, which meant you spent less resources on ammunition, and then you had a lot more resources for like everything else in the game. Man, dude, I didn't even correctly call who the final boss was going to be. I mean, I thought it was going to be the bald guy. But no, it was lady with a crush on us. Didn't see that one coming. I knew she was going to be up to something. Did not guess that she had a clone of herself that became an evil space god that was on the way, and that she had a pocket mech suit and was going to become the final boss. Did not see that coming. Did you find any legendary weapons or armor? No, I did not. I will say, there's a lot I didn't do. Not as a gamer, but as a content creator, I felt like my audience, like a lot of them would leave when I would swap to this game. So that kind of makes me feel kind of rushed to just do less side stuff and just focus on the main story. I loved the main story, that was fine, but that meant there was a lot of side stuff I missed. Just like a lot of it. Oh, lag. Holy crap. That was one con of the game. There was a lot of weird parts where I had major frame loss, major FPS loss, you know? Like, every cutscene... Who was that guy? Sio, the guy that idolized Ted Faro. Every scene with him was super laggy. I don't know if they just made his coat out of 5 billion polygons or what, but every scene with him was like a slideshow. It was like brought to you by PowerPoint. And there was a moment a second ago with like a weird ray of sunlight that just like was super laggy. It was the weight of his ego. Yeah. He just weighed down all the frames. Every time he turned towards the sun, like, it wasn't every time, but it was like in certain areas, it felt like it was the sun's fault. Or like the sand on the beach. Like when people were walking, the footprints in the sand, it was like, oh my god, did they render every grain of sand? Hikaru also gives purple armor in a crate. Depends if you save Regala. Oh yeah, I killed Regala, so he gave me a bow. So if you save her, you get armor. That might be Vegas in the distance. I think I see the Dragon Tower. Look, I finally finished Coalescence. I'm down to 1 copper now. Congrats, Sonny. I remember one time I was finishing a legendary and I bought, you know those ones that would take like 100 icy runestones, which is 100 gold? I bought the wrong kind of runestone. And then I bought the correct one, so I was down 200 gold. And I made the legendary, and I literally did not have 3 silver. I couldn't use the waypoints on the world map. And then someone in chat laughed at me and mailed me 1 gold so I could travel around. I don't remember what it was. I eventually used those runestones on something else, but yeah, I bought the wrong ones and lost the last of my money one day. Yep, it is Vegas. There's the light show now that we're closer. CO's coat looks like it had 60 layers when it moved. Did you guys catch that CO was CEO? Like the CEO of an organization? And he idolized Ted Faro, who was a CEO? I'm pretty sure he named himself CO because he liked Ted, who was a CEO. Just like Ted Faro, his base looked like an Egyptian place for a pharaoh. I was like, oh my god. Dude, I love this whole thing where, like, there's just massive chunks of, like, civilization here that's just mistranslations of the past. Like the guy that had the marshals because he misunderstood what the marshals were in the military from that one, like, old recording. I mean, honestly, he was pretty honorable about it, so it was fine, but, like, just, like, the salute and all that was just, like, it was like he saw, like, a Helldivers vid. It was like, yes, this is how it worked. This is so peaceful. Yeah. Just taking it all in. Oh, look, there's a crashed airplane right there. What armor? I think, you remember the armor set that CO forces you to wear so you look like Elizabeth? I think I reskinned that just for appearance reasons, but I think I'm using that armor still. I think that's the armor I've got right now. I liked the bonuses that were on it. Lost to Music says, what would it take for you to do 1 or 2 sessions of the DLC? Oh, I'd like to play and finish the DLC, actually. I don't know if I'm going to do it, like, tonight, but, yeah. I would like to do, bare minimum, the main quest line of the DLC. Like, minimum. Samuk has 2 purple items. Yeah, that's all you need. That's all you need. 2 purple items and an acid yo-yo. You're good to go. Oh, I see a Stormbird up there. How does the story game to other game stories you've played? Cross-eyed? Legitimately? And I feel the need to say, I'm not sponsored to play this because I'm about to give such high praise. I worry that you'll think I'm getting paid right now. This is one of the best stories I have in like a game that I've played in a couple of years, I think. I'm not able to immediately think of another game. And keep in mind, I play 80 to 90 games a year. I cannot think of another one I've played recently that was this good. This was incredible. It's just like just a few minutes ago, when I realized that Nemesis was the thing that hacked Hades, and the reason that Silence knew about Nemesis is because he tortured Hades, which was the same reason he knew how to break their shields, because he tortured that information out of Hades, and Hades stole the information from Nemesis, and Nemesis knew how to break their shields because it was a failed copy of them, and they made the shields, and it hated them. And it was just like, oh my God, like everything made sense. Like there was no like loose threads or anything. Like, holy shit, they tied it together really well. You know, like you compare that to freaking Disney, somehow Palpatine returned. And this is like, oh my God, this is like a whole nother level. Like, they did an amazing job of, like, it all made sense in, like, the most crazy of ways. Like, essentially the first game starts off and you are, like, primitive girl in world with robot dinosaurs. How the f did this happen? And then it tells a story that makes it all make complete sense. Sad I didn't get to see the Pharaoh monster. Yeah, I'm not sure if that makes that little bit of the story better or worse. When, like, the person in front of you rounds the corner and starts vomiting, and then you hear roaring, and then you see on the screen, like, an x-ray of the next room, and there's just, like, a growth all over it, and you know that there's the Pharaoh monster in there, but it never shows it. I don't know if that's better storytelling or worse, but it's definitely a decision. This over Baldur's Gate 3 story. Baldur's Gate 3 was an incredible game. However, just the fact the original people that survived the crash of the ship is an immortal vampire with ties to a vampire who's going to become like the god of all vampires, a guy who fucked God and has a nuclear warhead in his chest, a demon woman with a diesel engine in her chest, a dude that has a contract with Satan. It's like literally every one of them was the most main character that every main charactered, right? The fact that those happen to be the people that survived the crash. No, I don't think that's good storytelling. Are you kidding me? Maybe one of those things. Every single one of them had the most main character story that has ever storied that I've ever heard. And the fact that those were the 6, 7 people is insane. It's absolutely crazy. But yeah, BG3 was fantastic. It was a fun game. But as far as, is this like, do I buy this? Like, no. Oh yeah, and the Dark Urge, where your dad is God. Yeah, there's a lot of gods. So yeah, okay, in terms of pure, did I go, oh my God? I did that with this game more than BG3. That doesn't mean I enjoyed this game more than BG3. I'm just talking story right now. But this game made me go, like as the breadcrumbs, came together, the threads of the tale came together to form a tapestry. This story, blew my mind more than BG3 did. Yeah. But yeah, literally just looking at the cast of characters that are like the choices at the beginning, it's like, oh my God, every single one of these people is Naruto. Monk, would you compare this story quality to Plague Tale Requiem? Again, if we're talking just story, it's a little better, in my mind. I very much enjoyed the Plague Tale games. I would rate this slightly higher. Like, if this is a 9, I would say the Plague Tale games are like 8.5. Like, it's right behind it. But that's just my own personal enjoyment of it. Honestly, right now, the biggest moment I remember in Plague Tale, I'm going to be vague here, so I don't spoil anything. Plague Tale, the second Plague Tale game, the post-credits scene made me go, oh, oh, you know, I did that at the post-credits scene. The rest of the game was an enjoyable wild ride. I don't remember getting that holy crap at the end of it like the rest of the game. Thank you for playing. Alright, let's see what... I'm guessing it's just gonna like land and then let you just run around and do side quests if you want. Oh, more credits. What was your favorite twist or key plot scene in the main game? Main game of what? Horizon or Plague Tale? Because we were just talking about both. Mug Jackals wanted me to tell you she had to close the stream to not get BG3 spoilers. You can tell Jackals to come back if you want. You're now free to roam to the DLC. Oh, beta's back. Congrats on completing the main game! Aloy's story will now continue in the Burning Shores DLC, set in an entirely new area of the map with new quests, characters, machines, weapons, skills, tools, outfits, collectibles, and more. Aloy will be contacted shortly with next steps to begin the journey. You can also replay the game from the beginning in New Game Plus at any time using New Game Plus start point at the base. Oh my god. Thanks for playing and enjoy the Burning Shores. Yes? Hi. Can I help you, sir? Would you like some love? Just a second. Okay. Oh. Oh my god. Lost 2 Music just gifted 50 memberships on YouTube. That is going to be a lot of dings. I actually made an effort the other day to make it not ding one time for every single membership when someone does a bulk, and it was a failure. Lost 2 Music, thank you very much for the gifted memberships on YouTube. I really appreciate that. Mukluk, Douglas, Bartholomew, Reginald, Esquire the Fourth, this is Jonathan Fanciful the Third. Welcomes all of you to the lap. Hope you enjoy your stay entertainments on the way. Can't get the speakers, don't touch the bakers, giveaways every week. Please take a seat, which will only need the edge. Welcome. Welcome, 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 welcome. I'll let that go for a little bit and then I'll skip the rest of it. Appreciate you. Really appreciate that. Thank you. Let me tab out for a second and get to that bot. Let me see. Oh, there we go. I can just mute it and have it still do the thing. I did the same on PS5 for months. Love the story of Burning Shores. Hope my is the same. Let me see. What does Beta have to say?
What are you up to? I'm getting a head start on looking for ways to temporarily stabilize the biosphere. We may not have Hephaestus, but I'm sure we can come up with something. I paid Thrall's grave a visit earlier. Back at Gemini, he tried so hard to protect me. He was my first friend. I still can't believe he's gone. Me too.
Where's the button to hug? Even Helldivers has hugs. Oh god.
A certain complication has come to my attention that we must discuss. I'll be waiting at Tilda's. It's proven to be a useful headquarters for my inquiries into the Zenith base. And don't worry. I haven't disturbed her precious art.
Fine. I'll be there when I can.
Do you have access to this page yet? I'm not sure. Okay, so that is the beginning of the Burning Shores. All right. Man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. Okay. All right, chat. We are going to save it here. Hold on a sec. When did it last save? 48.9. All right, just less than a minute ago. We are going to save it here. And this is where we will end Horizon Forbidden West. And in the near future, we'll start a new playlist on the YouTube for the Burning Shores. Actually, I was about to make the marker. We have a tradition. We have a tradition where when we finish a game on this channel, we kind of do like an overview of the game. We kind of talk about it and like how it was and what we thought about it, stuff like that. Let's do that now. Let's have a little chat. Let's have a powwow. So Horizon Forbidden West, okay? Horizon Forbidden West. Obviously, the sequel to Horizon Zero Dawn. Horizon Zero Dawn came out around the same time as the Link and Zelda game Breath of the Wild. So it was largely overshadowed by that. Forbidden West came out at the same time as Elden Ring. So it was largely overshadowed by that. And a lot of people like are aware that it's out and didn't try it. I myself, I would say like the first half of Zero Dawn was like a cool game. Like the story was, they had to set all the groundwork. It was the second half of Zero Dawn that kind of makes you start going, and it's like brain balls.
Jackals gifted a tier 1 sub to its Sunny Moon. They have given 42 gift subs in the channel.
Thank you, Jackals. Appreciate that. Welcome. Horizon Forbidden West, from the beginning of it, like the groundwork is already laid. It is like blowing your mind with story stuff from the get-go. The gameplay, is fun. And I got a couple things about it. One, the combat's great. It's like Monster Hunter, where you can target different parts of your enemy. They might have an armored shoulder, and you can shoot the shoulder, but you'll do less damage, Or, you can shoot the robot in the eye, and it does a lot of damage, but there's less loot because it explodes. Or you can shoot the parts you need and try to tear them off of the monster before you kill it so those aren't destroyed, stuff like that. You can shoot off some of their weapons and then pick them up and use them against the monster. In the cases of like the Ravagers and the Thunderjaws and stuff like that. So many options just for combat, and I love that. I absolutely love that. Like if they've got a fuel tank, you can shoot it with fire to ignite it and it'll blow up on their back and do a ton of damage, things like that. Very, very cool. Very cool. So the combat, I loved it. The story, I've already gushed about. It was an amazing story, and I love that everything made sense. I couldn't spot plot holes. So many of these games, there's just like some glaring plot hole, like, Secrets of the Obscure. Why have we not called for back? Like, there's a world-ending threat, and we don't call for backup. No, we have to do this with the wizards, stuff like that. Or like we have to ally with the demons now. And it's like, I don't think we do, stuff like that. There's a lot of things about Soto that, it's like you can enjoy it, but at the same time, there's some major plot holes. This, I didn't have that. Yeah, it was so like, every time they revealed a new thing, I was like, oh, like it was so good. It was so good. Additionally, I want to talk about the inventory management. In this game, you were constantly looting 50 different components and parts from robots, but they never made it a pain in the butt. It was not a pain in the butt to loot 50 different things from bots, because when you would loot something and your inventory was full, it automatically went to your stash. It was like having the deposit to material storage from Guild Wars 2 happening all the time. And then, if you were crafting, as long as you were in a safe spot, like a crafting table, not just in the wild, it would pull from your stash. So the stash was just kind of part of your bag, as long as you were just crafting when you were at a safe spot. If you were crafting in combat, you could only pull from your backpack, which was much smaller. But you could, upgrade the pack and stuff as you leveled and make it to where you can carry more things. I think they did a fantastic job with inventory management in this game. You never had to open and sort your inventory. You never had to just like go to the merchant and start selling crap and stuff, unless you just really needed money to buy something you wanted. Hi. What? Yeah, okay. So I want to praise them on how they did the inventory. They did a really good job with how they did like inventory management and crafting. I think both of those things in this game were done really, really well. So yeah, the story, great. The combat, I really liked it. The crafting was great. What are some negative things? There were different parts of the game that would get like really laggy. Additionally, this game is very intensive on my system. Now, the game alone was not stressing my computer out, but the game was the most intensive game I think I've ever streamed, because the game plus my streaming software was almost 100% of my GPU. And so I had to literally disconnect the filters and stuff that I play with when I'm streaming from my computer, so because those pushed it over the edge. Literally game plus stream software plus turn into a potato filter, 100% GPU, couldn't stream it. Couldn't play it. So I have never had a game be this much of a resource hog. So that's a negative. It is probably not optimized very well. I'm not a software guy that could really talk on that too much. I'm just saying my observations. It feels like it's not optimized well. Additionally, even when I did shut down everything non-essential, we had those moments like CO. Every time CO was on screen, the game lagged to hell. So I would say those never really happened in combat, but they were a minor annoyance in various parts throughout the game. So that was a thing. And then the puzzles. They weren't often. Like, honestly, in the last 10 hours of the game, I don't think there was a single one. But anytime there was a puzzle, Aloy would immediately yell the solution. And that really pissed me off. Like, I remember one point, I was like, la, 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 shut up, shut up, shut up. I wanted her, like, we'd walk into a room, and they're not terribly complex puzzles, but there's a sense of satisfaction when you figure out what to do and you solve it. And she would immediately blurt out what to do. And I was just like, shut up. You know, she wouldn't give me a minute. And God of War did the same thing. You'd immediately walk into a room and the Kratos or boy would immediately tell you what to do. And it was just like, Jesus Christ. Now, obviously, puzzles weren't the main part of the game. They weren't the main point. But they were a little bit of a thing, and it was enough that you felt a sense of satisfaction when you solved them, and then it was really annoying when Aloy would ruin that for you. Hey, what are you doing? Stop trying to eat cardboard. So that was the thing. So yeah, the puzzle thing was a negative, but it wasn't that common. Again, in the last 10 hours, I don't think it happened a single time. But I wish you could have her not point that stuff out as much, or have her point those things out after 60 seconds. Like, after you've been in the area that triggers her to say that, wait 60 seconds, and if you're still in that area, then have her say the thing. You know? Give me a minute to look around and take it all in and try to figure out what to do. Horizon Forbidden dopamine? Yeah. So that was the thing. That was the thing as well. So yeah, the way they did puzzles could have been better. The weird lag spikes, the poor optimization. Good stuff. One of the most incredible stories I've done in years. The combat was good. I liked it. And what was the other thing? The inventory management. I praised the inventory management and crafting menus and stuff like that. And I think that's mostly what I have to say about it. If any of you are tuning in late to this and you have some interest in playing this game, play the first one first. The reason I say that is this basically is book 2 of a story. The first one is completely spoilered in the first 10 minutes of the second game, because they give you a recap. And you will get so much more enjoyment if you play the first game before the second game. So definitely do that. I want a hotkey button, no hints until I push it. Also acceptable way of doing it. I agree with you. Yeah. All right, I think that's it. So this is where we're going to end the Horizon Forbidden West playlist. And in the near future, I plan on playing the, what is it, Forgotten Shores, Burning Shores? The Forgotten Hot Spicy Shores, whatever. We'll make a new playlist for that. And we'll pick up from this point then. And I hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. You know what? That's not scientifically possible. I hope you guys enjoyed it. But there's no way you did as much as I did.